Welcome back everybody to Professor Seemo. So in this video we are going to learn how to compare between an object, objects between each other and an instances of that object. Our example in this video is going to be student class. Of course you can write your own, you can use it anywhere. The comparison is very helpful. As you can see, I'm going to use it to compare between students. You can use it to compare between two bank accounts or whatever your criteria is, whatever your class is about. I will be using uh, the student class, and I will see you in the video. Let's go. And as I have said before, first we'll start with writing the student class. We'll give each student an email, an ID, and a name, and it will be a read-only or like a final name. So like he won't be able to change it actually. For example, we have private and ID, private final ID. Sorry about that. Private final integer ID, and it will have a private final string email. Again, this is just an example. We'll use student as an example to see how to compare between objects. So our student is our object for this video, and I will fast forward to after I have written this student attributes, getters, and constructor, and I will see you there. Alright everyone, I have wrote the student class. So each student will have an ID and a name and an email, and it's final, so they won't be able to change it. That's why I have included it in the constructor. Alright, you can get the email, name, and ID. Now before talking about comparison, comparable, and the hash code and all of these, first you have to start talking about object itself. Let's go to Google or whatever browser you are using. I'll be using Chrome or whatever. Search for Java object SE7 methods. You can see the link, it will be in the description. Alright, I assume you are in a page similar to this one. As you can see here, class object, it has these methods. Let's go to the equals method, which is the method we are interested in. We will also be looking at hash code later on. First, let's start with equals. So object has this method equals, which means we can just override it, and it will return a boolean. So let's see how can we interpret this method and what factors should we care about and compare and see what it looks like. Alright, let's get back to the environment. Alright, let's begin with writing the equals. So first we'll start with the override. If you don't know what override is, it's basically when you have an object, for example, as we have seen, or it could be anything actually, and anything as an object or a class, for example, or maybe an interface, and it's like an object, it has methods, and you want to change the behavior of this method. So what you could do is overriding that method. Right, public boolean equals okay. Then start. Alright, what should we compare? Well, there is something that you have to know about Java, is these parameters, when objects are given as parameters, they are a reference, they are by reference, called by reference. What does that mean? Well, when I'm going to use equals to, I'm going to be like student1, for example, student1 equals student2, for whatever the spelling is, alright? and it's going to see, since this one is given by reference, we can compare. We can use student one as this, all right? Also, the equals takes an object as its parameter. So as we have said before, if this is equal to obj, return true. That means obj is it is like it's student one and student two are the same object. So obj, return true. Now we will compare if obj is null. We shouldn't compare null objects, so if obj is null, just return false. Alright? Alright, what else do we have? We have if. Okay, so now if obj is an instance of the student class, it's an instance of the student class, right? Let's treat it. If it is an instance of the student class, then we will be able to use it, right? To compare the attributes that we want to compare between the two objects. Anyways, so what we should do here is changing the type, more like casting the type of obj to student, actually. Although we already know that it is a student, I just like call it other. Here you will cast it to student, just so Java would treat it as a student and be able to access its attribute. All right, obj. All right. Now you can compare if this dot id get id is equal to other dot get id. As you can see, now we can access its attribute. If the id is equal to the id, we can just return true. And if it's not even an instance of the student, then just return false. Also inside, even if it's an instance. If the IDs are not equal, return else. Return false. Although if this is not true and this is not true, it will just go directly to this false, so we don't really need this one. We can even test it. Let's go to this student test. Let's create our first student, S1, new student. Alright, I have written these 5 students. Now let's compare student 1 dot equals student 1. Let's see. Let's run this. Meanwhile, it's compiling. Let's write another test. Okay, see, as you can see, student 1 is equal to student 1. They're the same object, so return true. Let's now try student 1 and equals dot student 2. False. Let's even try student 2 and student 2 dot equals s2. True. All right. Well, usually or generally, when we override equals, we should also override hash code. All right. Let's override hash code 2. It is a method of it's actually a method of the object class. All right. For hash code, let's use compiler itself. We can use the objects.hash directly, or we can write our own. So we know that it's going to return an integer. So we can just write whatever we want. Let's write, we can first store it somewhere. int my hash, or can just name it whatever you want. Let's write math dot pow for the power. Let's take the name and use dot hash code of name, since name is name itself is a string. This dot name and this dot name to the power of ID. All right. Let's see. Cast to integer. Oh, right. That's because math dot power returns a double. All right. And just return my hash. All right. That's how you could implement a hash code function. Of course, that's not the best way to do it. That's just showing you how to do it. All right. Now now I have shown you how to compare between two objects. You are comparing similarity or equality, you could say. But what if you want to compare if student 1 is greater than student 2? Or what if student 2 is greater than or less than student 1, right? Yeah, what you would do is implement comparable. Comparable is it takes a generic object, student. Now let's implement the method of comparable, which is compare to. Before talking about compare to should be override to. It returns an integer, and that integer is -1, 0, or 1. Compare to. Compare to. Alright. Now what is compare to? Alright, so first we have to decide what criterias. We have to decide what criterias define like which is greater than or equal to, like which is greater than or less than, right? Which one is less than, which one is greater than, and by convention, by convention, compare to, by convention, returns -1, 0, and 1. So what are the criteria that we are going to choose to return -1, 0, and 1? So what I decided to compare their IDs. Maybe I'm doing this student, or maybe even grades. It could be anything. All right. So first, let's compare their IDs. Compare to takes a student and an or anything. A student is parameter. So if this dot ID is greater than O dot ID, return 1. Else, if this dot ID is less than O dot ID, just return -1. Else, it has to be else just return 0. All right. Now let's go to student test. Let's use s1 dot compare to s1 and we get 0. So how do we want to return true or false? Basically over here you could just say if s1 dot compare to s2 greater than 0, sorry, yeah, greater than 0, return true, or sorry, just print true. That means s1 is greater than s2, or if or let's now write else if I messed up. Let's go. Right. Else if s1 dot compare to s2 is equal to 0, print true. Like, you can set up whatever conditions you want. This is how you could use it inside other classes, functions, maybe here in the main function itself, maybe inside the student in any other method. And we have reached the end of the video, and that's how you compare between them. So s1, if s1 is greater than s2, we could just return true. If it's greater than, then it will be greater than 0, since it will return 1, right? If it's equal to, it will return 0. You can write the conditions yourself. Okay. And yeah, we have reached the end of the video. Hopefully you have learned something new. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, as I will be making more videos explaining and implementing different functions, important functions for us to learn about Java. Such topics like comparison. It's one of the important topics, especially hash code. Hash code itself is a topic actually. Thank you for watching again, and we will see you in the next video. After you hit the like button, we'll see you. Goodbye.